I don't care what the board says, this is an illegal seizure of my land.
You signed the agreement when you bought the house.
We are well within our rights.
Blue sirens splash on wet asphalt, cold air in my teeth, and a diesel rumble woke me at 6:12 a.m. Cones marched across my driveway like little orange soldiers. Fresh paint stung my nose. A crew in reflective vests hammered signs while the HOA president, Karen, sipped a giant coffee and waved like she owned the block. Guest parking, she said, clipboard snapping. 22 spots right here. She pointed at my slab like it was a chessboard, and I was the pawn. A tow truck idled, lights strobing. It felt like my home was blinking out of my hands, one cone at a time. That was the morning I learned the board had voted in secret to repurpose the cul-de-sac access. The real title of this story is HOA seized my driveway for a 22-spot guest lot. Then I filed the easement. That's the fight. My car, my mailbox, my trash cans, all now behind a neon fence line I never agreed to. Karen chirped, "It's temporary. Memorial Day traffic." My driveway had a number now, like a motel stall. I felt small and angry and very awake. The smell of tar clung to my hoodie while she told the crew to paint arrows across the curb cut. I tried nice first. I asked for the minutes, the vote count, the engineer stamp. Karen smiled like a cat and said the board handled it. The neighbors peeked from blinds, then shut them fast. At 9:00 p.m., I emailed the property manager and got a bounce. At 7:13 a.m. the next day, I called the hotline and listened to hold music until the battery died. They ignored me, then pushed harder. Timeline item 1, April 5, at 4:27 a.m., false trespass call. A guard banged my door and told me to move off community property. Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted. I wrote that down. By the end of the week, I had logged 3 complaints, 2 tow threats, and 1 dent from a cone base in my fender. Karen shrugged and said, "Don't make this bigger than it is." I drew a line in the sand. No screaming, no stunts, only proper channels. But I was done being polite wallpaper. I pulled the old closing folder from the closet, the one that smelled like paper and dust. The survey, the plat, the legal. My driveway wasn't a suggestion. It was the access for my parcel, recorded. I built a paper wall you could lean on. I lined up photos, emails, and call logs in a binder. I measured the curb cut with a tape and took video of the crew blocking my mailbox at 2:31 p.m. I spent $110 at the county recorder on May 9th to file a clean ingress-egress easement affidavit tied to my lot, with a simple map and a highlighted corridor across the curb. The clerk stamped it hard. The file landed with 63 pages. I walked out with a receipt and a quiet fire in my chest. The trap was just timing. The board teased a summer welcome on May 25th at 5:00 p.m. Music and tacos, big turnout, all on the new guest lot. Karen posted a selfie with the orange cones like she discovered parking. I posted nothing. I pulled a line permit for temporary barricades to protect utility access over my recorded easement for that date and time. Law in plain words, you can't block a recorded easement. It runs with the land. At 4:58 p.m., I set 2 small sawhorses across the painted arrows on my slab, taped the permit to one, and waited. When Karen grabbed the sawhorse and tugged, I pointed at the county stamp, the map, the parcel ID in big, clear letters. Then the city inspector rounded the corner, hard hat under his arm, called in by my permit notice. He clocked the cones, the arrows, the sign that said guest lot, and his eyebrows climbed. Neighbors started to film. Someone whispered, "Oh, wow." The inspector asked for the HOA's lot permit and engineer plan. Karen blinked fast. He said, "You don't have one. This is not a parking facility." He cited the board on the spot for unpermitted work, obstruction of a mailbox, and misuse of common area without required notice. When Karen tried to speech, her mic popped with a sharp feedback squeal, and the crowd winced and laughed like a sitcom. I didn't gloat. I just opened my binder on my hood and slid the top sheet forward. The inspector read my timeline, then my affidavit. He asked for a copy. I handed him 2. People clapped when he said the cones must go now. A kid yelled, "Free the driveway." The taco guy shrugged and moved his cart to the greenbelt. Karen's smile went cloudy. The flip kept rolling. 2 officers arrived, calm and bored, then got very interested when the inspector said the easement was recorded. They asked Karen about the 4:27 a.m. call. He said, "We'll take that report." I kept my voice level and steady. I stated I'd been threatened with towing 3 times and blocked from my mailbox twice. The board's own security camera, which they put up to watch my curb, watched them tear up their own case. The council liaison who lived on the next street over walked up, pulled off her sunglasses, and said, "We'll address this at the next meeting." The inspector wrote a stop work tag on the guest lot sign. He asked the crew to remove every cone and arrow. Paint dust floated like chalk in the evening sun. My driveway came back into focus like a magic trick. I parked my car in slow motion and locked it with a beep that sounded like a period. Peace did not fall from the sky, but it came piece by piece. The board paid a fine of $5,000 for the lot stunt and another $1,000 for the mailbox block. The police warned Karen about the false trespass call in plain terms. The council voted to require real notice windows and door tags before any future changes. The HOA cut me a check for $800 for the fender and credited my dues for 12 months. The striping crew returned on June 3rd, then washed the arrows off the curb. At the next meeting, Karen resigned with a jaw set like concrete. People actually sat near me. My neighbor Tom brought hot coffee and said, "I'm sorry I stayed quiet." Kids drew chalk flowers on the clean pavement while I fixed my mailbox post. And when I pull in now, the only sign I see is home. Please follow for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.